Happy Saturday morning, everyone. Sorry we're starting off a bit late. It's not really an excuse, just kind of a lazy Saturday. But got some books for you. If you've noticed, the theme in it is bunnies. My little one, Grace, is obsessed with bunnies. What does sister do when we tell her about bunny?
Bunny, bunny!
What does she do? Does she hop? Hop. So I'm sure your little ones have some kind of obsession that they just absolutely love. But I have these collection of books, and I hope you enjoyed them. So we're going to start it right away with Counting Blessings by Eileen Spinelli, illustrated by Holland. One family loves you sweet. Two hands, 2 feet. Three sweaters when it's cold. 1, 2, and 3. 4 cozy toys to hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to count. 2. 5 crackers you can share. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 books beside your chair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Bunny. Right here. Oh, okay. 7 friends at the park.
7. That's a lot.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8 chimes. Now it's dark. A little music now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 stars twinkling bright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
That's almost 10.
10 kisses. Nighty night.
Wait!
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You say hi, Jordan?
Hi, Jordan.
Say hi, Jordan.
Jordan's watching us?
Jordan's watching us.
How did you know?
Auntie told me. Okay. 10 things to be thankful for. And dear Bunny, so much more. 1, 2, 3,
No!
6, 7, 8.
What way?
Hugs and colors.
Ow!
Birds on wing.
My bigger pun.
That is big Rapunzel. Snow to dance in and songs to sing.
Except now.
Blessings are like leaves that fall. We could never, ever count them all. You see, the simplest things in your life can create the most joy and blessings. And I want you to remember that and hold on to that when you have those times where you just don't feel great, or like now, things get a little cuckoo. But still, that's the wonderful thing about life. That with the good, with the bad, there's always good. Hey, no good. Okay, so we're gonna go off to that. I have another story. It's the classic tale of Peter the Rabbit. And this is by Beatrix Potter originally, but it was remastered and re-illustrated by Charles Santore. So I hope you enjoy this little rendition of this sweet little book. Okay. Once upon a time, there were 4 little rabbits, and their names were Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail, and Peter. They lived with their mother at the sandbank underneath the root of a very big fern tree. "Now, my dears," said Mrs. Rabbit one morning, "you may go into the fields or down the lane, but don't go in Mr. McGregor's garden. Your father had an accident there, and he was put in a pie by Mrs. McGregor. Now run along, and don't get into mischief. I'm going out."
I order.
Sorry, we have little ones trying to play with things. Okay. Then old Miss Rabbit took a basket and her umbrella and went to the woods to the baker's. She brought a loaf of brown bread, and 5 currant buns. Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail, who were very good little bunnies, went down the lane to gather blackberries. Apologize for the movement.
Good morning, everybody.
But Peter was very naughty, and he went straight away to Mr. McGregor's garden and squeezed under the gate.
Alrighty.
That was good. Right. I'm sure you're getting a little sick, so hold on just a minute. I'm gonna pause so I can move the little one.
I got it, Mommy.
You got the bug?
I'll eat it.
Oh, well, how about you hold it for me?
Ow!
Oh, did Mama sit on you?
Yep.
Oh, my goodness.
On my knee.
Right. First, he ate some lettuce and some French beans, and then he ate some radishes in the little one's back.
Bye-bye.
No, bye-bye.
And then he ate some radishes, and then feeling rather sick, he went to look for some parsley.
And then some carrots.
But round the end of the cucumber frame, whom shall he meet? But Mr. McGregor.
Hi, can you not meet him?
Well, he's a farmer. Is Peter the Rabbit eating the farmer's vegetables without asking?
Yeah.
Is that a good or a bad thing? Yeah, and did his mommy tell him not to go there? Yeah. Mr. McGregor was on his hands and knees planning out young cabbages. And he jumped up and ran after Peter, waving a rake and calling out, "Stop! Thief!"
He's not a thief.
He's not a thief? Did he steal stuff out of his garden?
Yeah.
Did he plant that garden?
Yeah.
So, I think he's kind of a thief right now, huh? Peter was most dreadfully frightened. He rushed over to the garden, for he'd forgotten his way back to the gate. He lost one of his shoes along the cabbages, and the other shoe among the potatoes. After losing them, he ran on all fours and went faster, so that I think he might have gotten away altogether if he had unfortunately run into a gooseberry net and got caught by one of the large buttons on his jacket. It was a blue jacket with brass buttons, quite new. Peter gave himself up for lost and shed big tears, but his sobs were overheard by friendly sparrows, who flew to him in great excitement and explored him to exert himself, meaning they tried to help to get him out.
Why did he want to go see him?
I don't know. Very mischievous bunny, huh? Mr. McGregor came up with a sieve, which he intended to pop on top of Peter, but Peter wiggled out just in time, leaving his jacket behind and rushing to the tool shed and jumped into a can. It would have been a beautiful thing to hide in if it hadn't had so much water in it. Goodness. It's covered in water. Mr. McGregor was quite sure that Peter was somewhere in the tool shed, perhaps hidden underneath the flower pot. He began to turn them over carefully, looking under each of them. Presently, Peter sneezed. Kerchoo! Mr. McGregor was after him all in no time. He tried to put his foot upon Peter, who jumped out the window and unsettling 3 plants. The window was too small for Mr. McGregor, and he was tired from running after Peter. He went back to work. No.
That's a naughty.
That's a naughty rabbit, huh? Peter sat down to rest. He was out of breath and trembling with fright. He had not the least idea which way to go. Also, he was very damp from sitting in that can. After a time, he began to wander about, going lippity-lip, not very fast, and looking all around. He found a door on the wall, but it was locked, and there was no room for a fat little bunny to squeeze underneath. An old mouse was running in and out over the stone doorstep, carrying peas and beans to her family in the wood. Peter asked her the way to the gate, but she had a large pea in her mouth, and that she could not answer. She only shook her head at him. Peter began to cry. When he tried to find his way straight across the garden, but he became more and more puzzled. Presently, he came to a pond where Mr. McGregor filled his water cans. A white cat was staring at some goldfish. She sat very, very still, but now and then the tip of her tail twitched as if it was alive. Peter thought it was best to go away without speaking to her. I'm sorry, I have a cuckoo baby again.
Baby the cuckoo.
Yep,
Boo!
It's okay.
Boo! Easy. Look at this.
No, Daddy's got her. Say bye, Grace.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Okay. Peter thought it was the best to go away without speaking to her. He had heard about cats from his cousin, little Benjamin Bunny. He went back towards the tool shed, but suddenly, quite close to him, he heard a noise. Oh, scritch, scratch, scritch, scratch. Peter scattered underneath the bushes, but presently nothing happened. He came out and climbed upon a wheelbarrow and peeped over. The first thing he saw was Mr. McGregor, hoeing onions. His back was turned towards Peter, and beyond it, him was the gate. Peter got down very quietly off the wheelbarrow and started to run as fast as he could along a straight walkway behind the black currant bushes. Mr. McGregor caught sight of him on the corner, but Peter didn't care. He slipped underneath the gate and was safe at last in the woods outside of the garden. Mr. McGregor hung up a little jacket and shoes for a scarecrow to frighten off the blackbirds. Peter never stopped running or looked behind him until he got home to the big fern tree. He was so tired that he flopped down upon the nice soft sand in the floor of the rabbit hole and shut his eyes. His mother was busy cooking, and she wondered what he had done with his clothes. It was the second little jacket and pair of shoes that Peter had lost in a fortnight. I'm so sorry to say that Peter was not very well during that evening. His mother put him to bed and made some chamomile tea. And she gave him made a dose of it for Peter. 1 tablespoonful to be taken to bed. But Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail had bread and milk and currants for supper. The end. Peter had a very adventurous day. And unfortunately, he got a little sick at the end because he just stressed himself out and he wasn't listening to his mom, who told him to stay nearby, and he really wasn't listening to his directions the way he needed to, huh? So even though he had an adventure, wasn't really the safest adventure he could have done. But I hope you enjoyed the little story about Peter the Rabbit. Yep. And we're going to dive into our another bunny stories, which
Thank you.
is perfectly titled Too Many Bunnies by Tomie dePaola. Okay. Well, said Daddy Hopkins, looking out at the garden one fine spring morning, it's time to plant our gardens. This year, Daddy and I want all you children to help, said Mommy Hopkins. Oh, goody, cried the 15 little Hopkins. That's a lot of bunnies. Mr. and Mrs. Hopkins had a fine and most beautiful vegetable and flower gardens in all of Fiddly-Dee Farms. Every spring, they would dig up the dirt and rake it smooth. Next, they would make long, straight rows and put in the seeds. Finally, they would cover up the seeds and water them. Makes a lot of sense on how you garden. When can we begin? Shout the Hopkins children. This morning, said Daddy Hopkins. While Mommy and I go to the store to buy carrot seeds, you can all start on a small radish garden. Now line up so I can tell you what to do. Willie, Whaley, Wally, Wendy, and Winnie, take the spades and start digging up the dirt. Hurrah, said the quintuplets. Bunny, Bonnie, Billy, and Biff, you four, rake, said Mommy Hopkins. Hooray, cried the quadruplets. Flossie, Franny, and Fluffy, you make rows for the seeds, said Daddy. Goody, said the triplets. Skipper and Skeezy, said Mama, you. We know. Plant the seeds, cried the twins. And I apologize, I didn't show you the children before. Yep. And what do I do, said Petey. You get to water it, the Hopkins all shouted. Now, everyone to work, said Mommy and Daddy. The Hopkins children ran to the garden. They could almost taste the fat pink radishes. They started in, all at the same time. We're supposed to dig first, said Willie, Whaley, Wally, Winnie, and Winnie. Wait till we rake, said Bunny, Bonnie, Billy, and Biff. Don't plant those seeds yet, shouted Flossie, Franny, and Fluff. We're getting all wet, said Skipper and Skeezy. It's my job, said Petey. Welcome to my noisy house. What a mess, cried Daddy Hopkins. Home from the store. There are too many Hopkins. Now, said Mommy. Let's start again. Everyone, sit down. See what kind of plan the Hopkins parents are going to have. All right, quintuplets, dig. Willie, Whaley, Wally, Wendy, and Winnie dug. Now, quadruplets, rake. Bunny, Bonnie, Billy, and Biff raked. Triplets, make the rows. Flossie, Franny, and Fluffy made the rows. Twins, plant the seeds. Skipper and Skeezy planted the seeds. Petey, turn on the hose. Petey did. And the radish garden was ready. You see, said Mommy Hopkins, there's not too many Hopkins. You're right, said Daddy Hopkins. There are not too many Hopkins when they are not all at the same place at the same time. The end. See, that was a wonderful little story of working together and trying to accomplish one job. You can't all do it all at once. We have to figure out places that you need to do and what is your best asset to bring to that project and get it all done together so it's helpful. Now, I believe I've made my kids so tired from this story time. I don't know about your little ones. But we're going to end today, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
I'm going down to my woody couch to go and
She's going to go into her woody couch to go take a rest. Hope you have a wonderful Saturday, a great weekend. I hope it's safe and full of fun, as much as it can be. I will see you next Saturday with a whole new set of books. All right, bye, everyone. Thank you for joining.